You're watching New York One, news all evening. And now, here's a look at what's happening in your neighborhood.
As Jews around the city and the world get ready to celebrate Hanukkah, we take a special look at the Jewish Children's Museum in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. New York One's Stephanie Simon introduces us to the mother who helped build the museum and tells us why it's a bittersweet accomplishment.
There was dancing in the streets in Crown Heights recently to celebrate the dedication of a new Torah at the Jewish Children's Museum.
Now, a Torah scroll has over 300,000 letters in it that are handwritten by a scribe. And it's tedious work that takes nearly a year to do. We had several hundred people who came, and it's a beautiful celebration.
The museum is also celebrating Hanukkah with a special holiday show. But for Devorah Halberstam, these celebrations are tempered by the loss that inspired so much of this museum, the murder of her son, Ari. The 2-year-old museum is dedicated to his memory, as is the new Torah. The 16-year-old was shot on the Brooklyn Bridge back in 1994 by Rashid Baz, a Lebanese national who shot at a van full of Hasidic students in retaliation for events in the Middle East.
You know, no mother wants to build monuments and museums for their children, for their dead children. I certainly would rather have Ari be alive and dancing with all of us.
But since the murder, Halberstam has been a tireless activist for change and advocate for tolerance, which is the mission of the museum.
They walk in here and they learn about the Jewish culture, and they have an experience of the day. They say, hey, this is actually a wonderful culture and a wonderful history. And then there isn't that hatred. The hatred falls away.
From afar, this mosaic outside the Jewish Children's Museum appears as one face, a celebration of life. But for Devorah Halberstam, every time she walks through the doors, the experience is bittersweet.
I live with this every moment of my life. To me, this museum is my son's life. This museum is in his memory, and you know, he lives here. He's alive in this museum.
So much so that Halberstam likes to say she has 5 children, including Ari, as well as 5 grandchildren. But her grief has taken her far beyond the creation of this museum.
Beginning with the fact that our government looked at my son's case originally and firstly as a random act of violence. It took me nearly 7 years before the FBI, 3 days before 9/11, it was actually reclassified as a case of terrorism.
Halberstam followed the case through the system to see the shooter, Rashid Baz, convicted. Along the way, she helped write New York State's first laws on terrorism.
And I wrote them and authored them together with the governor, and we spent a long time on putting them together.
Presented before 9/11, the bill was signed into law September 15, 2001. Halberstam also helped change immigration and gun control laws. But like the Torah scroll symbolized no beginning and no end, she continues her efforts. In Crown Heights, Stephanie Simon, New York One.